Hi, everyone. Welcome to our open source internet research course. We couldn't do this last week, so we're kind of doing some catch up. Today, what I'm going to tell you is how to try to find images, especially where they're taken, and trying to geolocate them. Now, image geolocation is very important for multiple purposes. One, governments and militaries often need to know where a photo was taken. Usually these photos are taken with social media, with a smartphone, and put up online, but they can contain essential information for intelligence purposes, for relief purposes, for International Red Cross or Kızılay or AFAD. So any kind of disaster or emergency response can necessitate geolocating images that you find online. And one of the easiest ways of finding where to look for images is actually Google. So let's just start with an exercise, and please do this together with me. So let's type something very simple, Ukraine war photos, and try to find an image that can be geolocated. Now, some of these may not be geolocated, some of them may be. For things that can be geolocated, usually have some kind of surrounding information, some kind of background image, some kind of a hill, or some kind of forest, or some kind of a mountain, or if it's an urban setting, some kind of identifier for you to be able to find what's going on. And in order to build these exercises, usually it takes some time trying to find good information, or some image that can potentially be geolocated. Some of the time, what happens is that a region gets so much destroyed that it becomes kind of impossible to geolocate them. So practically, what I'm trying to find out is that I'm shopping for interesting images that maybe that it can be geolocated. It's very difficult to geolocate this one. It's also a bit tough to geolocate this one because it's entirely destroyed. Okay, so this one seems promising. This is a good exercise for a geolocation. So this image is from an Anatolian agency, Anadolu Ajansı news segment. And the title says, Russia-Ukraine war creates blocks in Africa. And the whole news article is on Africa, and it says Johannesburg, South Africa. And it's all about African nations. But this image is not about Africa. It's actually about Ukraine. The way I can tell this is from Ukraine is that the car has a Ukraine flag. As you can see, there's a Ukraine flag in the car as well. The car plate, when you look at that, is actually Ukrainian. How I understand this is that you can basically search for Ukrainian license plates, and do a search. So when you go to Wikipedia, you can do vehicle registration plates of Ukraine. And let's see what this car is. So AE something something OH. So let's see what AE stands for. Let's see if we can find the first two letters. In Turkey, it's the first two numbers. So 34 is Istanbul, 06 is Ankara, 01 is Adana. The way it plays out in Ukraine is that the first two letters are giving you the city in Ukraine of which that license is registered. So I'm looking at, so these are previous between 1977 to 1993. And okay, I got a hit. So the format for Ukrainian license plates are letter, letter, four numbers, letter, letter. And when I look at this, it actually matches letter, letter, four numbers, letter, letter. So, okay, I know that this photo was taken somewhere in Ukraine, but I wonder where. So I'm looking at license plate codes, and here I understand that AE, let's see if we have more regional ones. So regional codes, AE in that regard belongs to Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Oblast is region. So essentially, we seem to have some kind of hit with this AE guy, which means that the car is from Dnipropetrovsk. So here, I'm interested in which city this is in. And I'm going to try to find this. I haven't done this before, so each time it's actually very difficult. But to give you an idea on how to geolocate things, we have several markers that we can follow. The first thing was, of course, the car license plate. So we can go searching for that. The second thing is this shop in the background. And I'm interested in whether this is a local shop or a nationwide shop. And pretty much what we have are, there's a house here. It's very difficult to know what this is. There is a shop, which I'm assuming is a chain supermarket like Migros or Carrefour. In here, there are some advertisements, but this image is so low resolution that it's kind of difficult to guess. Now, when you're trying to find an image online so that you can try to find where it was taken, the first thing you do is that right-click on it and you search this image with Google. So this is also known as reverse image search. So I'm clicking on this and it is bringing me Google Lens, basically Google's own image recognition algorithm. So here it has a button that says open a new tab. So I'm going to open this on a new tab so that I can work on something more. So the first thing Google Lens recognizes in an image are brands or kind of things that you might buy. So we basically immediately understand that this car is Mitsubishi Pajero, but I'm not interested in that. The first thing I do is that I expand on this lens to include the remainder of this photo. And it's giving me some Ukraine-related visual matches. Probably not very useful. Let me focus on these soldiers in case I see something interesting. It doesn't really recognize that much because these are essentially, guys with faces hidden. And do I have anything? No, no, no. It's just genetic people. Now, one thing I'm interested in is what this shop is in the background, because it looks like something that is recognizable. And okay, so I think I have my first hit. So when I zoomed in the lens on this, it gave me these supermarket chains. And I'm clicking on this Wikimedia link. Is that yes? So this is a supermarket. And obviously the name is this. So I don't know Ukrainian. So the first thing I would do is that I could go to translate and I would do auto detect language. And I understand that the supermarket chain is actually called Fora. So instead of Migros, instead of Carrefour, this is called Fora. And one way of verifying it is basically going here and saying that Fora Supermarkets Ukraine. And yes, so Fora is a chain of convenient corner stores where customer can buy whatever. So yes, the first thing I know that what's in the background here are Fora, supermarkets. So I'm going to look for Fora, but I need some more images that are maybe similar to this. So I need to use Google image search again. I'm going to go and do save image as, and I'm going to download this on my computer to say something like test one. And I am going to Google again. Here's google.com. So you see this photo image here. It says görsel arama or search by image. So when you click on search by image, it is going to use whichever image that you supply to this. And my test one is here. So I'm basically uploading this on here. And again, it's giving me a whole bunch of stuff. So instead of doing the whole thing yet again, I am first trying to say find the original website, and it's not giving me much. So so yeah, it's giving me some websites. It's giving me all in Turkish, probably because I'm accessing this from Turkey. But no, I don't want crime savaşçılar. Let's see if Aura would be a meaningful search. No, it wouldn't. Oh no, I'm not looking for this. Let's see if I can find anything here. No, not this one. No, that's one. I'm trying to use this image in multiple contexts by focusing on different places. And I'm still trying to find the same thing, soldiers in the front and in the back. maybe the same supermarket chain somewhere around here. Maybe doing this. I have some fora that are maybe destroyed. So this is from 2021, so it's very unlikely for this to be anything I need. So in any foreign language website, what I do is that I right-click on it and I translate the whole website into English. Gangsters in Katyushanka, the ATM was, no, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for something that is specific to the war. So I'm going to upload this again in case I'm doing something wrong. So I'm using the whole image again. Yeah, so I couldn't really get too much from there. So I'm returning back to my original search, my first tab, and I'm closing all these guys. And now what I'm doing is that since I clicked on this image, sometimes related images are underneath the whole thing. And now, if you see this, you can see that this and this are actually exact matches of the same thing. So when you look here, the fora is at the behind, and fairly the same guys are running. So this is one part of this, our previous image in high resolution. So these guys are walking a little bit down the road. They have a second photo that's taken. So I have another match, and I'm clicking on this. Rogue metropolitan police officers who travel to Ukraine to fight Russia could be prosecuted. It's not about metropolitan police. Now, what I have here is that I know that this is taken in Ukraine, somewhere in a war zone, but I still cannot find it. So most of the time when you look at images that you see on news websites, if the news website is, good and respected, they give some credit to whoever is taking the photo. And I'm looking at the caption of this image. It says metropolitan officers have been warned not to join in Ukraine. Okay, fine. But the credit here says Wolfgang Schwan, and he is with Anadolu Agency and via Getty images. So I'm saving this again as my test 2 image. And I'm going to go to Google again to do some reverse image search with the second guy. I got roughly the same images that I got for the first one, which is not much. I can't really use these. So what I need to do here is to basically do the whole search. So Wolfgang Schwan, Anadolu Agency, and do a search for this. Now, I understand that Wolfgang Schwan is an Anadolu Agency photo reporter, so I'm checking the rest of his images. So there are some brutal images around. So I'm just seeing in case I can get any other. So I have this. This comes out. I'm looking at this once again. Okay, the same thing essentially. I'm looking for some additional information, something that can point me to where this was taken. So I'm basically trying to look for similar matches of images. Telegraph. I don't have. So this is obviously Wolfgang Schwann. What else? What else? Okay, since this was taken from Getty Images, let's go to Getty Images. Now, Getty Images is a stock image place. So when you take a photo, you put it up on Getty Images. So one basically thing I can do here, I can basically type Wolfgang Schwann, which gives me essentially nothing. So I'm essentially keeping. So what if I say Wolfgang Schwann, Anadolu Agency, Ukraine? Let's see what images he would have. Anadolu Axios. Axios. So I have an image of him at Getty Images. So what I'm trying to do is that I am trying to find a point on Getty Images that would contain no, this one as well. Okay, going back to the drawing board. So this back and forth is normal. What I didn't want to do is to basically show you, a demonstration I did before. Because I think that's lazy. Like I already found something, so this, click on this. I don't think that's the case. I think you should all see me finding something from scratch, so that you all see how difficult these things can be. Okay, for some reason it didn't register this. All right, what I've done is basically I Googled Wolfgang Schwann Getty, and I have some photos of him. But when you Google image search Wolfgang Schwann Getty, the photographer, you actually have our image appearing in another website, NBC News. So I'm clicking on that again. And now I have some additional information. Ukrainian soldiers Thursday near the recently collapsed bridge that was the target of a Russian missile near Irpin, Ukraine. So now I have a hit, and I am going to see where Irpin is in Ukraine. Now, for some dynamic kind of mapping, I use Google Earth. So what this says is that I'm trying to look for a recently collapsed bridge, and it has to be somewhere around Irpin, Ukraine. So basically, this is Google Earth. So if you are interested in using it, you can just play with it. It's really fun. But what I'm trying to do is that I need to go to Irpin, Ukraine, and I try to orient myself where Irpin is relative to. So it's Dnipro River. It's close to Kiev, the capital city. And basically when I'm looking for is this. So if this is Irpin, and if Russia is attacking a bridge, that bridge should basically connect two parts that are separated by a river, essentially, right? Because that's the whole logic of a bridge. It has to connect two sides, two coasts of a river. So here I see that there is this Irpin River. So I'm basically looking at this. So any collapsed bridge in Irpin would be somewhere that should start somewhere. So this could be the collapsed bridge. It is basically connecting Irpin, because if you can see clearly, this is a bridge and it connects Irpin. It continues. I'm still looking for bridges that might be destroyed by Russia. No bridge, no bridge. There is a bridge here. Doesn't look like a bridge that much, but whatever. Again, Irpin. I'm following the river, so this is the second bridge. So, do we have any other bridges on it? And here. Any other ones? Okay, so if we are trying to pinpoint our search on where that photo was taken, we essentially have three candidates. One, the southern bridge. Two, the southeastern bridge. And trying to see if I'm not missing. There's a bridge and a half, but it's very small. And the northern bridge. So basically, if we are talking about let's see, new feature. Can we add place marks? Oh, we can add place marks. So let's add place mark here. This is bridge number 1. Where is our bridge? This is our half bridge. We don't trust that it's a bridge. It looks like a bridge, but it doesn't seem as if it's big enough for cars to go. It's probably a bike bridge or something like that. It's definitely not something that Russia would target. This is a railway bridge, which should be strategic. So I'm adding another place mark. Bridge number 2. And I'm following the river again. Here. So this is bridge number 3. All right. So what we have here is that potentially, if we're talking about a destroyed bridge, it should be somewhere around here. So now comes the most difficult part. So I'm looking for Fora Irpin to see if I can get some Fora supermarkets around. What's this? It's a Fora, but it's not my Fora. This is a Fora, but they're very far away from Bridge. So if this is true, if near a recently collapsed bridge that was target of a Russian missile, it could be this and this. But here, some things are actually sometimes you have to use the local language. So when I say Fora Supermarkets Ukraine, I need to use the actual Fora in Ukrainian. So I have to copy this, and I have to, instead of Fora, I have to type this. So okay. I am getting one close Fora that is near the third bridge. Cool. Any other Fora? A Fora here, a Fora here. Nothing. Maybe this is not it, but maybe it is. I don't know. So here's the problem with war zones. Sometimes Google Maps point data can be accurate, but the satellite imagery that you're seeing right now may be old. Because the problem with that is that it's usually a strategic area or a war zone that Google doesn't continually update its imagery. So here, what I'm looking for is this. This imagery, this part of the imagery is taken from Maxar. Sorry, not Mazar, it's Maxar. Maxar is a very big private satellite imagery company. And it's also very quite popular. It produces some of the most private and strategic imagery in the world, and it is also providing Google with most of the images that it shows in its Google Earth. As you can see here, it says Google. It's getting from Maxar. So Maxar has this explore section here. And here I'm going to go for search imagery. And I'm going to look at Irpin, Kievskaya Oblasts. So this is basically Irpin. So now notice where we are here. We are south of the bridge 3, our bridge 3. And we are trying to look for something like this. So underneath the bridge, what's the street name? Do we have the street name? In order to get the street name, it's actually better to go to maps directly and do Irpin, Kiev Oblast. And again, in order to orient you, we are looking for the river, and we are looking for the third bridge that we looked here. So this is this essentially. So I'm looking for street names. So here it says Fora, and I think I have a hit. So I'm looking at this, And of course, it's always sad to see these images, better times before the war. And I'm looking at this. So here in the background, this fora has its green multiple lines followed by the brand name. So I'm checking if this, yes, so it's lines followed by the brand name, and here as well. It looks like here. Now the problem is this. I'm looking at this as well, trying to gauge whether this is this. It does look like this a little bit. I'm looking at the parking because when you look at the parking, you can actually also look at the place from the outside. Yeah, could be, maybe. One way of verifying this is trying to look for another major landmark around what you're looking for. So around just across the street, I'm seeing a church. Sviato whatever. So I'm looking at this. There's a church here. It's probably, Martyr's Church or something like that. I'm looking at its dome, which is okay. So I have a dome, and I'm looking at here. So basically, the area that I'm interested in is practically this fora and this area. So I'm going to Maxar, and I am basically drawing a polygon here, 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 here. So what it's doing is that it is giving me a list of recently available satellite imagery data to see if any one actually contains the graphics that I'm interested in. So when I say browse, it gives me the whole aerial data. And what I'm looking for is around here. The problem with this is that it's very low resolution. Satellite imagery has types of resolution. So yes, this is not bad. It does contain the place that I want, but it's so bad resolution. So maybe, and what this section contains is that you see the collection date, 2022, May 9th, cloud area. If it's too cloudy, it's basically too difficult to see when there's cloud cover. The second one, March 31st, I'm looking at that. It's also very low resolution. It's another, satellite imagery of the area, but it's so low resolution that it's becoming very difficult to point. Sometimes, and this happens because it's a war zone. Really high quality maps are maps that you have to buy. So this is another aerial imagery that could potentially be useful, but it's so zoomed out that I can't really use them. But we're going to use Maxar very frequently in the coming places. For now, I'm turning off Maksar. So I'm clicking on this. Yes, Wolfgang and Wolfgang. So interesting thing here is when you look at our image, this part from Google actually looks at where you can find the actual image. So it's from gettyimages.com, and when I'm clicking on here, it is taking me to Getty Images. So Ukrainian soldiers in Irpin, Ukraine. Good. So here it gives me tags that I can use in order to find similar images. So the first tag I want is Irpin again. And I'm seeing a lot of Irpin war images. And I'm trying to find similar images that may or may not be a match for the kind of image that I'm after. And I'm being like careful here. There's a lot of destruction, of course. A lot of sad photos as well. But I'm trying to, oh, look at the cat. It's cute. Oh, but also unfortunate. So the bridge is destroyed. Let's see if we have Irpin, comma, soldiers, maybe. So I'm refining my search. I'm not only getting Irpin images, I'm also getting Irpin and soldier images, trying to, oh, wait, we have something. Okay. The same fora that we're looking for is here. Let's see if we have any other fora images. We already found one. Okay, this is the second one. Fora, the same place. This is an action shot. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to scroll down and I want to see more from this event. So apparently there are more photos from this event. So I have fora, as you can see again. Okay, so we now understand where this photo was taken. Civilians hit by Russian shelling while fleeing Irpin. A wounded man, Irpin, for battle. Okay. To find, okay, hey, remember this church? So yes, we have a match. So remember the Svyato church? So essentially it is the same church. This one and this one. It means that we now are very sure that this image is from Irpin. So I'm closing the rest of the tabs to make things easier. So this fora is this fora. And it is the fora that is right next to the church. So we close this as well. So this is the church that we were seeing. Now the problem is this: the satellite imagery that we have is so old that fora is not even constructed yet in the images. This happens, and this is a very interesting lesson for you as well. in war zones, in disaster zones, in remote areas, in rural areas, sometimes there may be the case that sometimes there is fora, there's a construction there, and you can see it actually in Google Maps. But from a map point of view, this probably goes all the way back to 2019, something before the war, definitely. So this means that this is a pretty recent fora. And the church is here as well. So here, what I will try to do is that try to triangulate the exact spot from which that photo was taken. So fora is here. I'm trying to find a photo in which the supermarket is close to the church. I can't really see if this is the church. So I'm looking for the photos of the church. Oh, okay. So look at this statue. That statue is this statue. Again, this statue, the soldier with oh, I'm missing tabs. So this guy right here, the soldier that is holding a flag, is actually this thing on the right. So where they're standing right now is somewhere towards the inside of the church, because right now we're seeing this from the back, which means that the people right now are tending for the wounded from behind this. So they're somewhere around here. So I know 100% right now that we are in the correct path, but still I'm trying to understand where they took the original photo from. So as you can see, this part is behind that soldier statue that we saw before. So it's basically right behind. So where is fora in reference to this? So fora is here. Let's see this, it's street view. And yes, that's the worst part. So this is, so görüntünün çekilme tarihi, the time when this was taken, May 2015. So this is still a barn. Fora doesn't exist. It's so old, this image, because this used to be a rural place. So it's unfortunate that it's still not built in 2015. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to look at the church. So this is the church. But I can't really see. The church is still being built, as you can see. But as of 2015, which is the date here, I still do not have. So let's take this from this angle, and let's try to look at where the church is standing with reference to this. So Fora is supposed to be here. The church is supposed to be here. The church is here. So Ulica Street is here as well. So, oh, okay. Wait, here's the soldier statue. So the soldier statue is right across where Fora is supposed to be. So probably they built Fora here. And this is where they're tending the wounded in the photos that we saw, because here's where the statue is. So this means that the statue is here, Fora should be right next to it, right across. So if Fora is here, then my guess is the church is towards the right side of this image. So the problem is I can't really find both the church and Fora together, which is why I keep getting disoriented. So right across we have Broar. So let's say Broar here. No, Broar Irpin. Is it here? No, that's not the Broar. Wait, is it here? No, that's not the place. No, it's not the place. This is the place. So if Fora is around here, and here what I need to do is that I need to look at a street. So it's right at the intersection of the junction, which means that the Ulica Street is here. And since Roar is right across, so since Fora is here, then it means that this photo was taken around here, which means that, let me put in, so our bridges here are here and whatnot. But since we're looking at Fora in such a way that when we look at it, it lies on the left side of the street, then it means that the camera angle is here. So roughly, they are looking from this angle. And this is the point, roughly, where the photo was taken. So I'm trying to make this turn. I'm I'm using a an alien laptop, so okay. Nice. So this was taken from here. So Fora is here. We can't really see the church because the church is on the other side of the line of sight. So we can't really see it it's in the other side, but this is where approximately the photo was taken. Whoa, okay. That was not easy. That was actually a little bit tough. So I'm going to give you two images on the LMS. What I want you to do is that I want you to try to locate them. And when you're locating them, I want you to write a very short essay. How did you start geolocating it? Which sources have you found? And it doesn't really matter if you've successfully geolocated or not. What really matters is that how hard did you try? Have you really tried everything that you couldn't find? And when you are finished, if you can find where those photos were taken, I want you to prepare this kind of line of sight video, the line of sight image like this on Google Earth, and take a screenshot of it and write the text and copy and paste your screenshots in a Word document and upload that Word document on the LMS. So that is your LMS task for today. And we're going to continue on this next week. So take care, and I hope you enjoyed this. Best of luck.